The world is burning and the rivers are dying. We haven't seen a drought this terrible for a very long time. The water levels in some of the major waterways are lower than they've been in decades, and one of the most affected ones includes Lake Mead. Why is this happening? Is there something we need to know? Lake Mead has been a topic of discussion recently, and the reason is due to its rapidly depleting water levels. Lake Mead is unlike other lakes. It is a man-made reservoir of the Hoover Dam. The lake lies just 25 miles from Las Vegas, Nevada, and stretches a maximum of 10 miles wide in some areas, and is an important source of drinking water and irrigation. The Lake Mead National Recreation Area has been a place of beauty and activity enjoyed by its visitors for decades. Many attractions here include fishing, water sports, swimming, and more. It is a very popular tourist sport and may receive nearly 8 million tourists and other visitors per year. The animals that are found within and around this area are unique to this specific region, like the razorback sucker, a fish indigenous to the Colorado River Basin, desert tortoise, desert iguana, and even the Gila monster, which is a highly venomous creature, can be found here. Mountain lions and the bald eagle are some other important animals living in these areas. Side note, Lake Mead is technically a lake, but doubles as a reservoir, and is officially a recreation area and a national park. However, the main reason it was created was to supply visitors and citizens of Las Vegas and surrounding areas with a sufficient water supply. Lake Mead was named in honor of Elwood Mead, who was the former commissioner of the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. The main contributors to Lake Mead's decreased water levels, besides population growth leading to depletion, includes drought and climate change. Climate change occurs when anthropogenic emissions and pollution result in altered, often negative effects on climates and ecosystems. The lake's water levels have dropped so low that a white ring is visible on the surrounding mountains. This coloration is referred to as the bathtub ring. The ring depicts what Lake Mead's water level had been in the past due to water's erosion of the bordering mountains. 1/10 of the water within the lake comes from groundwater and precipitation. The remaining 90% comes from melting snowfall, which flows from the Rocky Mountain and into the Colorado River. The water shortage at Lake Mead and the negative effects that have resulted and may further result are a clear indication that humans need to both conserve water and limit their use of fossil fuels and other polluting elements in the future. The best way to halt these adverse conditions is to halt climate change. The decreased water levels also lead to many discoveries, such as the number of bodies and other human remains in the lake. The remains of at least 5 people were found during the summer of 2022. One barrel was discovered in the lake that held the remains of someone with a gunshot wound, which could be related to the presence of organized crime in Las Vegas, Nevada. Another fascinating discovery was the underwater ghost town called St. Thomas of Nevada. In 1865, Mormon settlers established St. Thomas, Nevada. As a thriving Mormon settlement, St. Thomas boasted farms, a school, hotel, a grocery store, post office, an ice cream shop, and a hotel. The town eventually had a population of about 500. In 1928, President Calvin Coolidge authorized the construction of Hoover Dam, originally called the Boulder Dam. St. Thomas then ceased to exist. The dam created Lake Mead, which flooded areas along the Muddy and Virgin Rivers. During the early 1930s, Lake Mead began to form, and Thomas gradually disappeared under the rising waters. Aside from the St. Thomas ghost town, another place called the Lost City of the Ancestral Pueblos is also a tourist attraction. About 100 years ago, the 7 states dependent on the river came together to divide it since they needed water resources. As expected, the states included Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, California, Mexico, and Wyoming. Here, their major challenge was to generate a figure to understand the strength of the water and the quantity of water that could be drawn from it every year. The Colorado River had to be shared, and they needed to find a way to do this. However, their calculations were wrong. The wrong calculation and assumption of 100 years ago can now be felt today as the river used beyond its capacity has issues being filled up to full strength. The only way to reverse these patterns of drought is to reduce water use and increase efficiency to improve water management and invest in new technologies and infrastructure. However, these are mere thoughts. What the future holds for Lake Mead and the Colorado River cannot be predicted. What do you think will happen to Lake Mead? Is there a way to reverse what has happened to it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.